Our friend Carol Leonnig is out with a stunning new book on the many serious problems inside the U.S. Secret Service, the ones they have faced secretly over the years, including during the past administration. In Zero Fail, The Rise and Fall of the Secret Service, Carol details the concern among Joe Biden's team members about agents who had become loyal to Donald Trump. She writes this, quote, given all the ways the Secret Service had enabled Trump in the last year, from enabling his authoritarian march across Lafayette Square to the murmured support in the ranks for overturning Biden's election, it was understandable that the president-elect and his aides had doubts. So serious was this concern about Trump's corrosive hold on the Secret Service that Biden transition advisors urged that the agency swap out all members of the Trump presidential detail before Biden's inauguration. With us for more is the author of Zero Fail. That would be our friend Carol Leonnig, Pulitzer Prize-winning investigative reporter with The Washington Post. I'm duty-bound to point out one of Carol's Pulitzers was awarded to her for her coverage of the Secret Service back in 2015. Carol, magnificent book, magnificent work. Is the holding about the modern era, the Trump administration, the reaction to 1-6, that maybe the bro culture, which you catalog inside the U.S. Secret Service and which has been with them as long as they've been around, and the MAGA culture meshed a little bit too easily together?
You know, you said that pretty well. You want to go on the book tour with me? I feel like that.
I'm good.
That explains a lot, Brian. There is a culture, alpha male in this DNA of this agency, which basically resists admitting weakness, admitting failure, and it errs on the side of covering up what's really going on behind the scenes, including serial screw-ups and mistakes and security gaffes and misconduct. And in this instance, under Donald Trump, right when the Secret Service needed help the most to recover and rebuild, this president deployed this, noble agency with a wonderful reputation as a political tool for his own gain. And that is agencies in the executive, something that would help him personally, and especially help him get reelected. So it is not a shock to agents in that wonderful agency that many members of the president's detail were judged on their loyalty, and they became very loyal to President Trump, to the point that they supported his forcible removal of peaceable protesters outside the White House at Lafayette Square on June 1, when people were protesting the death of George Floyd. And the leadership of the Secret Service supported allowing a senior executive who used to run the president's detail to become a political advisor and deputy White House chief of staff in Donald Trump's White House, the person who was in charge of getting his political message out, helping him in his campaign, staging his image, and also this clearing of the White House that you are seeing on the camera now.
Your book, the reporting is so powerful. The director of the Secret Service has said in a statement tonight, the American people can rest assured that the U.S. Secret Service is an apolitical and nonpartisan agency. Our focus is not on politics, but on uncompromising excellence and continual improvement, protecting national and world leaders and the security of our nation's financial system. Two things are true. I think the American people have unquestioned faith in this organization and what they do. And I know it is true that the Secret Service certainly enjoys the first word in their title, and that is being secret largely all these years. Their budgets are constantly blacked out on Capitol Hill, as constantly as they have been approved over the years. But with that statement from the director having been read, the question to you is, can the American people, based on all you know and have found out, rest assured tonight that the top of our government is protected to the very best of our ability as a nation?
I'm really depressed to tell you they cannot. And I want to stress something, Brian, tonight, which is I wrote this book because I'm ringing an alarm bell for the agents who risk their careers, their jobs, to tell these truths that the agency leadership did not want told, which is basically that they are relying on luck more than ever before in protecting the president. Their mission is too large. We all think that their number one mission is protecting the president. That's the most important thing they do. But they have a ton of other assignments and not enough tools to do them. They had a jumper get into the White House and sit on the ground uninterrupted for 15 minutes, jiggle a door on the east side of the mansion, and was allowed to wander around so long because the alarms, the fence sensors, the radios, the cameras were all on the fritz and allowed this person to wander around. A person without a plan, didn't have an assassination strategy, but what if they did? And that is not enough. You know, America should not be satisfied with that. And we owe the agents who dedicate their lives to this, who give and sacrifice so much of their own personal lives for this mission, we owe them more. They deserve to have the tools they need to do this job and deliver on this zero fail mission. That's why I wrote the book, because agents, as dedicated as they are afraid of catastrophe, and they think a president will be shot, if not on their watch, on the next guy's watch. It's a matter of time.
Carol, I'm just going to put some pictures on the screen that are by now burned into everyone's memory. A COVID-positive president of the United States chooses to take a victory lap and wave to his people, as he put it, outside Walter Reed. Inside the rather cramped, still, and airless SUV, his agents were forced to ride with him, looking for all the world like they were going to be exposed to plutonium. Talk briefly about the rallies, the denialism, and the COVID-positive president who put his agents at risk.
Brian, as the president realized internally and privately that his poll numbers were sinking, that the American people were distrustful of the way he had handled a crisis like no other, he got more and more desperate about getting out on the road and campaigning, despite the fact that COVID was spiking in many of the places, red states, where he wanted to travel. Unfortunately, 300 Secret Service officers and agents contracted COVID or were exposed to a coworker who was infected, so that they had to be quarantined as a result of those summer rallies that the president insisted on. This moment that you are showing now in October was sort of the creme de la creme of the president's indifference to how COVID spreads and the people that serve him and could be hurt. Now, I want to stress the two agents in that car, the driver and his detail leader, are wearing a lot of medical gear. So their chances are relatively small of contracting it in that car. But there are a lot of steps on the way to that car from the hospital bed. And it was a question for many agents I interviewed. Why this risk? Why do this for 10 minutes of a joyride to make the president feel strong, to make him feel like he was showing people that he was hale and hearty? Wasn't there a safer way to do this than expose all sorts of employees, including agents, along the way?